Did you ever receive anything tangible from your dad as a gift? And what was the most memorable?
Occasionally, he would send a little bit of money. He did come out and took me to a car lot and bought my car.
That's really nice.
Can you tell us about your Impala?
That was my '64 Impala. Well, I tried to, kind of take care of it, and I actually worked occasionally at Earl Shive. That's a paint place.
Mhm.
So I took the car in, masked it all up, painted it myself. Unfortunately, it rained that night, and the paint, I had a clear coat on it, and the clear coat, if you just stood there and looked at it, you could see where the drops of water was all over it. So that hurt my feelings. Yeah.
9 months after he got it back on the road, I finished it.
Well, bless her heart, I was trying to teach her how to drive, and she didn't make a turn quite quick enough, and there was about an 18-inch curb, and unfortunately, she didn't know. It just happened. She plowed into the curb. It just bent the whole undercarriage of the car, and it was done.
Tell us about being in the Street Racers.
That was sweet. The Street Racers was a car club, and you would pay like a dues to become street racers.
Mhm.
And their jacket, the jacket was kind of this type of material,
Mhm.
and it was embroidered on the back of the jacket, and it said Street Racers.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the guy that actually pretty much ran the group, his name was Big Wooly, and if you wanted to actually be the kingpin in there, you'd have to kick his butt.
Ooh.
And that wouldn't happen. This dude was massive.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought in my mind, anyway.
He was called Big Willie for a reason.
Yeah, he was huge. I mean, muscular. I almost took out about 5 guys behind him.
Oh.
Yeah. We kind of scooted up to the line,
Mm-hmm.
and as a 4 on the floor, shifter. And I kind of overshot the line and did, back you up like that. Well, I pulled my linkage back and over to kind of back up, and somehow I thought I had it in gear, and I didn't. I was just kind of freaked out, doing this kind of thing that I never really did, and it was in reverse. And what they would do, they would stand one guy would stand in between the 2 cars, and he'd have a flashlight. And so when he hit the flashlight, you'd take off.
Mm-hmm.
I went backwards. No, I almost hurt some people that was back there and behind me. Because the crowd would kind of gather around and behind the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch him at the finish
That would
line?
be scary.
I came close. What was kind of cool back in the day is you would race a car that was equal to your car. Big Wooly, if you will, would kind of talk with whoever was going to race and this and that, and he would actually match the cars and to make it fair.
Mm-hmm. So skill was the name of the game, essentially.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about when you first met Nona? Maybe just details of the day.
It was back in the 70s. We actually met in the parking lot of the high school in Upland. She kind of, I'm going to say, cared for me, and I kind of cared for her, and we kind of hooked up after that.
Well, I had a date with your best friend.
Yeah.
When loved ones have needed a place to stay and they come to you, you have never turned them away.
No. What you sow, that shall you reap. You sow to goodness, and it'll come some way.
How many times would you say that you've helped people who were in need and did not charge them anything?
Like I said, you sow to goodness, and it'll come home someday. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people I did that for.
has all the trim work, bumpers, and everything needed. He's got so much in it and could finish it if he had the health to do so. But at this point, if I can just get some paint laid on it, he does have a spray-on bed liner style insulator and sound reduction material. It's intended to go on the hood, or the roof rather, and the floorboards. There's not a lick of body cancer anywhere. My dad used to do body work, so he's already done a lot of what needs to be done. But because these are aftermarket doors, even though they're the better ones from Classic Industries, you've got, where things line up, still has to be kind of dialed in. This is the biggest one where this line doesn't line up with this line, but it lines up okay here and down here and here. So it's kind of, don't know what to do with that. He probably does, but anyway, this side's the same as the other side. So what you see here is what you see on the other side. Everything's been done right. So anyway, this is kind of where he's at with it. Fuel tank 1.